Creator, he sells ebooks and makes roughly $2,000 monthly from his course sales. Do you know where he hosts his courses, ebooks, and digital products? Seller. He even builds sales pages with Seller Page Builder. Now this is Alona. She's a freelance corporate and she has customers in the UK and USA. She even gets paid at least $1,000 for her services and gets the platform she processes her payment with. Seller. Now this is Kwame. He is an affiliate marketer and actively promotes Alona's course using the swift and easy to use affiliate marketing feature on Seller. In fact, he just joined the affiliate network where he has access to thousands of courses he can promote. Why aren't you selling on Seller? Everyone is selling on Seller, but you. Sign up on Seller today.
Welcome back, guys. We hope you enjoyed the morning session. Next up, Mfon Ekpo, a superstar, will be speaking with us on developing effective systems as a creator and entrepreneur. Mfon Ekpo is the CEO of Discovery Center and an executive director at the John Maxwell team. She's a certified human behavior consultant, development strategist, and professional negotiator. Mfon has received awards for her best-selling book collaborations and has multiple degrees in various fields. She's an international speaker, coach, and recipient of several prestigious awards. Mfon is a Mandela Washington Fellow and has served on advisory boards. She's an honorary citizen, a Goodwill Ambassador, and is recognized for her impactful training programs. Mfon has spoken at renowned universities and serves as an advisor and mentor to leaders worldwide. She also sits on the board of Wentors, an organization focused on women in technology. Join me as we welcome Mfon Ekpo.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm looking at the chats to see who's here. So, when I say good morning, good afternoon, good evenings, because I'm assuming that uh, everyone is at different parts of the world. It's on my present location, it's a few minutes past 8 a.m. So, good morning to those who are at locations that's morning, good afternoon, and good evening. If you're in Nigeria, it's I think it's 2 in Nigeria. Um so hi. I was given a topic that is very boring. It's very boring. It's very boring, but very essential. It's a very boring topic. It's it's boring. So when I say it's boring, it's not boring. I mean, it's like, oh, there could be more exciting things to talk about. However, and my topic is on building systems. As a creator, as an entrepreneur, it's the type of thing. It's almost like a necessary. I want to call it a necessary evil, but it's not really evil. It's a great thing. But for most of us, we got into business, or we got into what we do. We got into this with passion. So building systems for us is boring because it doesn't. I want to say it doesn't match the passion or the excitement with which we entered the thing. So it's one of the things most owners of ideas and services and businesses, it's one of the things they come to when their back is against the wall, like when you're overwhelmed in your business, or when the complaints are too much or too many, or when everything is crashing. You don't go to the exciting passion, you go to the systems. So when I say it's boring, I know the conveners gave this topic because it is necessary. um when I say it's boring, I mean it is boring in relation to, the excitement that comes with, you know devolving your passion, or just deploying your passion. But you will get to see, if you do your business long enough, you will get to see that the exciting part of your business is not what necessarily sustains your business. It's the mundane part of the business, if done right, that sustains it. Now, not starts it, but sustains it. Um, I'm trying to see. I want to share something on my screen with you. So, our topic is developing effective systems as a creator or an entrepreneur. And I'll use the word systems and processes interchangeably so that because it's one and the same. Now I'm gonna read the chats for a while because this is call and response. I'm not going to teach you. I don't necessarily do that. I have conversations. I don't have just teaching moments, or I do have those, but I prefer them to be conversations. So I'm going to be reading from the chats in the first maybe minute or two. This is like, all those examinations or those questions that your secondary school teacher will ask you. Who can define what a system is? Who can define what a system is, and who can tell me what systems they use in anything, whether in your business, in your creation? Who can tell me? I'm gonna read the chats. I'm gonna be here reading your chats. So tell me. If you're not talking, we're not gonna talk. Because I want to be able to speak to your pain points, not just teach on top of your head. So, who can tell me what systems are? And please don't go to a dictionary definition. If you can, try and tell me what you think systems are rather than just going to Google or dictionary definition. Yeah, I shall wait. All right. Since systems are information we store, okay. I'm not necessarily sure what you mean. If you can expand that, it would help. Mm, 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 mm. A combination of tools or people to simplify a process of achieving the goal. Patrick, did that come out of your head? If it did, well done. If it didn't, God is watching you. Yeah. Um, as group or individuals working for a common goal. A group or individuals working for a common goal. Okay. Systems are like procedures, a step-by-step process to achieving an aim. Fantastic. Now, I want us to just have a broad understanding. Just systems are a breakdown of the way we do things. I want to I want to make this topic that is sometimes so tedious something that you will not forget. So I can go as high level as possible in defining a system, but I want you to take the simplistic, like if you were explaining it to a 7-year old, this is what you would say. I love it. Systems are like procedures, or step-by-step processes of achieving an aim. Yes, systems are repeated process designed to keep one moving forward. Fantastic. if you were explaining to a 7-year-old what systems were, you would say it's a broken down process of how we do a certain thing. We break down the process of how we do it. You want to peel an orange, you get a knife. That's one of the first things you do. So before you get to the end of eating an orange, you take the 7-year-old through it. What are the processes? What are the steps? What are the steps? And this is as mundane and as granular as we can get. The steps to achieving a particular goal. And that steps could be in people, that steps could be in your product, the steps could be with processes. But let's simplify this definition. The steps or the broken down processes to achieving a particular goal. So you want to peel an orange, you get a knife. I'm assuming that the orange is already there. If the orange is not there, what do? We go to buy the orange. Do we have a particular person we buy the orange from? Or do we have particular oranges we buy? A child would say, oh, there is a store beside us where we buy the orange, or there are two stores. We prefer this store because this store has the organic oranges or whatever. So we say, okay, we buy it. How much do we buy it for? Are we given a discount on it? In it What systems do, systems force you to think through what we use the word just for. Just, if someone says, oh, how did you create this? I just did it. I just when I teach in the Discovery Center or the clients, or if we're doing a book study, I often say there's nothing like just. There's nothing. There's nothing like just. Just, I think it was Voltaire that said, just is the word or the phrase we made up to explain the effect, the known effect of unknown causes. Just is the word we made up to explain the known effects of unknown causes. So, just is a word we use in place of a process we haven't looked at. It just happened. Well, how about we reverse engineer that? So, just, for those of you who are note takers, just is a word we made up to describe or explain the known effect of unknown causes. There are unknown causes and we want to make them known. And this is the reason we want to make them known. Everybody on this call falls into four brackets. And 4 brackets of competency in your business. There's 4 brackets of competency. The first bracket, and I would like you, as you listen, tell me what brackets you fall into. The first bracket are the unconscious incompetent. And this is not a jibe at just like, oh, she called me incompetent. No, this is you are the phrase incompetent is not necessarily derogatory. It is that I do not have a competence in these matters. I don't have a proven system in this matters. I don't have a replicable system in this matters. I don't have a competence. So an unconscious incompetent is someone that doesn't know, and I'm sure you've heard those phrases. They don't know, but they don't know that they don't know. That's an unconscious incompetent. You are unconscious to the fact that you are not competent in that area. So you're an unconscious incompetent. Now, the second bracket is a conscious incompetent. A conscious incompetence says, they're teaching me on developing effective systems. This is not as quote unquote sexy a topic as how to create $1 million in 2 days. However, this is the thing that causes you to create $1 million in 2 days. I do not know of anybody who is sustainably wealthy. Now, I'm very particular about every single word I'm using. I do not know of anybody who is sustainably wealthy who doesn't have systems. And this is coming from someone who started a business or started offering a particular service 7 years ago and has never had a loss year. I've never had a year that we're just like, oh my God, we lost. No. From the beginning of those of you who know the programs I do, one of the core programs of the Discovery Center is called the Blueprint of How. We started the Blueprint of How 7 years ago. We've never had a loss on that event, and we've done it in Nigeria, we've done it in the UK, we've done it in the US, we've done the Africa tour with the seminar. Most of you are actually content creators or creators of services, of products. So you would understand what it means to never imagine that you have a product and you're just like, we've never had a loss on this product or on any product. It's never a loss. And by not a loss, I'm just like, oh, there's always profit. And always profit is because of a system, of several systems coming together to when you see something on the outside and you're like, oh, this program, they just every time is just sold out. There's nothing like just. Just is a word we made up to explain the known effect of unknown causes. So I was talking about the different levels of competency. First one, unconscious incompetent. The people who don't know that they don't know say this is supposed to be on developing effective systems as a creator. You are not aware that you don't know about it. You're just like, yeah, I run my business. I'm good. You might be an unconscious incompetent in this area. I'm not in every area. I am an unconscious incompetent in some areas in my life. But in this area, you might be. You can be a conscious incompetent in the sense that you know that you don't know about system. You know the importance of it, but you know that you don't, that's not your strong suit. You know that you don't know about it. You're a conscious incompetent. There is the unconscious competent. I don't know which is worse between a conscious or an unconscious incompetent or an unconscious competent. There is unconscious competent means you know the thing, but you are not aware that that thing you do, there's anything to it. You're not aware that it is the difference maker in your business. You are not aware of the key you use. You just do it. You think, when I just do it, remember that word, just. When I do it this way, things just work. You are an unconscious competent. You know what to do. but you are unconscious of the effects of it. And this is as bad as being an unconscious incompetent, because if you don't know what you are doing to create certain results, you will most likely do away with it, and destroy the thing that brings you result without knowing. So this is even worse, because, and I see people do this, key areas of their business, they're unconscious in the fact that that is a key area of their business, and they remove it. Let me give you an example, and I'm not going to give you a high level example. I'm going to give you a nice example. The akara, the person who sells akara, for those of you who don't know what akara is, I will define it. It is bean cake, fried bean cakes by the side of the road. If you live in any African country, they have the women that just, create meals by the side of the road. It's in Ghana. It might not be akara in Ghana. It's something else. But in Nigeria, it's akara, bean cake. Some of them are unconscious competence. They know that what they do is necessary, but you will see them move location. Some stay in a particular location for a while, but some move, and they are not aware that part of their competency is their location, is the fact that anybody can find them at that particular location. They were aware of it. They stay there for a while, but when they were moved, or when someone else says, oh, maybe they can't stay there, or maybe a regulatory official says they can't stay there, they move without any forwarding address. So you're just like, where's the woman that used to sell akara here? And they're like, oh, she's gone. But gone to where? Gone where? Could she have told someone around her, maybe the gate man somewhere, oh, if people are looking for me, this is where I am? Most times they hardly do that, because it's an unconscious competent thing. They're unconscious about the fact that location matters, and per location they're losing clients, even though they were conscious of the fact that this location brought in a profit. And then there's the last group, which are the conscious competents. The last group, which are the conscious competents. Okay. The conscious competent not only know, they know that they know. They know that they know. Your major job as a content creator, as a creator, I keep saying content, but it's not even about content. You're a creator when you create a product. You're a creator when you create a service. You're a creator as a business owner. You're a creator when you write a book. It's one thing to take an idea from intangible and make it tangible. That's why we call you creators. You are, for anything that has manifested tangibly, you've created it. So your job as creator is to move from unconscious incompetent to conscious competent. And systems are the fastest way. A system is the fastest way to move from unconscious incompetent to conscious competent. A system or a set of systems, fastest way. I will put up. I don't know if I can share my screen with you. Yes, I can. Let me see. Let me tell you, I want to show you I want to show you why this matters. Regardless of any goal you have, I want to show you why this matters. Bum, 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 bum. Can you all see? Can you see the quote? I put up a quote by James Clear. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. You do not rise to the level of your goals. I don't care how lofty that goal is. I don't care if the world is shouting, this is a goal. Oh my gosh, you have a great goal. I don't care. I don't care if you woke up and thought, oh my God, I'm God's favorite child. Because this idea that I have, or this business that I have, is amazing. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. In other words, you owe your goal systems. You owe your, if you take your goals as importantly as you claim you do, you owe your goals. You owe the goals to have anything, do anything, be anything. You owe them systems. A goal is a systemic result. It is not a passionate result. I'll say that again. A goal is a systemic result, not a passionate result. The start of a goal is a passionate result. The start of it is a passionate result, but the achievement of it is a systemic result, not a passionate result. You start passionately, you achieve systemically. You start passionately, you achieve systemically. You want to cook jollof rice. You start passionately. You're just like, oh my gosh, I want to eat jollof rice. I feel like eating jollof rice. I've not eaten jollof rice in a long time. You start passionately. You achieve the goal systemically. What do? Do you just say, I feel like eating jollof rice. You know what? Jollof rice, follow me. No. We do this in our everyday lives. We just don't do it with our business. You start the goal and then you move into systems. What do you do? Remember I said just is a word that we've created to describe the known effects of unknown causes. I was just hungry. I just did jollof rice. No, you didn't just do jollof rice. You passionately wanted jollof rice and then you got up. You can't sit down in a particular location and do jollof rice. So you got up, you reversed engineered jollof rice, maybe from where you were. You reverse engineer, but we reverse engineer in a split second. Think of what you do when you want to eat a particular thing. I'm using jollof rice. Maybe I want to jollof rice this afternoon. I don't know. Anyway, so you sit down and you start reverse engineering it. You start thinking, I don't know if I have tomatoes. I don't know. Oh, tomatoes these days. Maybe let me not go and waste my tomatoes because tomatoes is gold. I'll use only one. I'll use I'll use paste. I don't know. Oh, I don't have rice. Okay, so I will go and get rice and I will okay, I have onions. I don't like chopping. Oh, I have those things that you start reverse engineering. And what you're doing, if you could see the your brain waves, it would be like neural pathways firing to each other. Remember what quantity of rice was left the last time we did it would be like the matrix working in your mind to make the jollof rice. You start passionately, you achieve systemically. After you bring out everything, you then put the rice on the fire. As you put the rice on the fire, you don't you are not supposed to cook the white rice until its full boiling potential. If you're supposed to do jollof rice, you're supposed to stop. You're supposed to parboil at some point before you add every other thing. Now, if you cooked till the end, till the rice is fully cooked, you're not going to go to you're not eating jollof rice, you're eating rice and stew. So we do this in our everyday life. And guess what? Where you don't do this, where you don't apply those systems, you don't get the goal of jollof rice. Some of you were on the way to jollof rice. And then because you didn't follow a system, you veered into rice and stew. As it is in life, so it is in your business. You were on the way to jollof rice. You were getting there, but you missed a system. Maybe you boiled the rice too much. Before you know it, you have risotto. Risotto is those things that the Italians eat that look like jollof rice, but it's just like mede mede to us who know that we want our jollof rice to be single, single, single with a firewood hint. Because you did not apply a system or because you missed a system, you missed the goal. You can have fantastic goals. If you miss the system, you will shortchange yourself on your goal. And I'm not using any high level example yet because I don't want you to feel a lot of people who teach about systems make it so difficult that you feel like, oh, I have to go and hire consultants to do a system. I'm like, no, 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 no. You use systems in your daily life. You are just an unconscious competent. You use systems. You used many systems to get here today. You got up, you knew you had to have a bath. You use systems to do that. You ate a meal, you use systems to do that. You drove out to pick up something, you use systems to do that. We use systems in our daily life. It's just that when it comes to our business, we think we increase the level of difficulty for systems. That's where we get stuck. Something you do on a daily, you could not be where you were without using systems. When you are born, you don't have systems. It's why babies don't even know how to poop. There is the remember a video about a baby, and the baby was they say when you see a baby like struggling, like just doing it's not crying, it's like wincing and struggling, like they're like, oh no, it's not hunger, it is the baby developing the muscle that is necessary to poop. They are making the mind and body connection on how to poop. Can you imagine that there was a time in your life where you didn't know how to expel gas? You didn't know the system of how to expel gas. Imagine, and I'm using this very granular example so that you will not forget. Some of you are like, oh, use lofty example. No, we're going to stay with your mess. If you watch videos, or for those of you who have babies, or for those of you who watch, I'm watching a lot of baby videos now because my sister is expecting. So we're going to stay with the baby examples, and I have to watch these videos. They show you many tips and tricks to get a baby to release gas, either through a burp or just the normal way to release gas. So they're like, oh, you have to push the baby's leg this way. You have to rub the baby's back. You have to hold the baby's face up. And I'm just like, look at this creature. You mean you don't even know how to expel gas? That's what causes colic. That's what causes just babies being uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable, but they don't know how to expel gas. They don't know the system yet. They haven't developed the muscle. So someone has to help them. You are a walking, breathing mechanism of systems. How you walk is a system. How you talk is a system. How you eat is a system. Then imagine that you came to your business and you suddenly did not have systems. Who told you systems were hard? And why did you believe them? It's like, it's so hard to develop systems. No, maybe the person who taught you systems, but it's easy. It's easy. It's what is hard is the constant application of it. What may be difficult would be the constant application of it. But you develop systems without thinking. So I'm going to give you an example. Let me give you an example. I've been a part of the John Maxwell team from 2011. I'm a founding partner of the John Maxwell team. And I served in the President's Advisory Council. In other words, the president of the John Maxwell team, we're looking at, and we have a collection of over, I think they're right now up to 200,000 coaches around the world. Coaches, speakers, trainers, just the best in the business. And we set out from the beginning, 2011, to build that. It didn't exist in 2010. We started in 2011 to build the John Maxwell team. That is a conglomeration of leaders around the world and coaches and speakers. And I remember one of the first things I learned from John Maxwell and his team was this dogged penchant for systems. You want to have a lean team, you better have massive systems. Because John had a lean team for a company that had 200,000 coaches, speakers around the world, was doing millions and millions in dollars. The company had only six core members of their teaching team staff. Only six. And I was like, wow, this is such a great system. And I loved it because coming from Nigeria, I mean, Nigerian systems where it was just like, I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I saw everything scripted. By everything, I mean everything. Why? This is what a system does. It helps you duplicate what worked. It makes it replicable. It makes it consistent, and it's convenient. It makes everything convenient. It may be a tad bit difficult at the start, but the job of systems is for convenience. Is that if I build a house, I don't want to build a house and then not know how to build another. Some of you build an amazing product, but you don't know how to build another because you didn't reverse engineer your system. What caused this product to be amazing? What caused this move I made to be successful? And so what we do is we reverse engineer everything. Everything is reverse engineered. Every single thing is reverse engineered. In fact, we were so granular. After I finished teaching, we would transcribe the call. Every single word I said on the call. I would then remove the words that were not necessary. So the words that were not necessary or the words that didn't add as much value. After I finish a call, and this is still what I do, I would transcribe the call, remove the ones that are not necessary, maybe put in better examples. I use the Akara woman on this call. This is the first time I'm meeting you guys. If I was meeting you guys next week, I would come with a better example. I would remove that, put in a better example, make it tighter, deliver it the next week. As at the next week's call, I would transcribe again what I did, write it out, remove anything, put in better examples, tighten it again, deliver it the third time. Do you really think if I do that 20 times, you can match my content? The problem is you went on IG Live. You went last month. You thought everybody was like, so great. This person knows her onions. You did nothing to reverse engineer that system. What worked about this? What did they applaud on? Where did I get the most likes or loves as I was teaching? What point are people who gave me feedback? What point did they take in the most? Oh, I will double down on this. You are so busy building new things. You are not improving on the old. You are too busy building new things because you somehow think that that's what the people who are successful do. I remember a time that's as far from the truth as night and day. The successful people double down on what is working. I remember a time I asked John, I'm like, okay, now that I'm doing this, I'm a leading teacher, speaker, trainer. Like, what is your one advice to me per se? And he said, master the mundane. Master the mundane. Master the mundane. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, master the way you speak, even though you know how to speak. Master it. How do you do it? You reverse engineer. I then had a speaking coach who would reverse engineer everything I said and said, oh, this is where you had highs. This is where you had audience participation. This is where, and then we will double down on this. Are you doubling down on what is working, or are you just building new things? How did your last product and service go? Did you reverse engineer it? Or did you just go ahead to build something new again? And then all of a sudden, that's why you get to the point where you're like, oh, I'm tired. I'm creating, I'm creating. Ah, this business, you can't satisfy customers. They'll always want something new. They'll always want something new. My business presently, the Discovery Center, is built up of 80% of return business. Not new. In fact, we have to beg the return business sometimes when we have seminars. We have to tell them, please give space for the new people to come in, because it's people returning for 7 years. Why? At every point in time, we master the mundane. We try to make the thing that we've done better. Why? There are people that come for the same seminar, they've come for it 5 times. The same seminar. The blueprint of how there are people who are like, I've come for it 7 times, I've come for it 5 times, I've come for it 3 times. It's the same seminar. But we do what I just tell you. We say, how can we give how can we give someone who returns a better experience the next time than they had the first time? Now, because I could see it done by somebody who was in the top of his field. John Maxwell, the president of the John Maxwell team, Paul Martinelli. Paul Martinelli was actually the president of the John Maxwell team, not John. And I was just like, I could see this guy. He's a wizard at systems. Paul, I will tell you about this, because the first step to developing systems is modeling excellence in someone else. You don't just ordinarily develop systems by yourself. You didn't know how to bath until someone showed you how to bath. You didn't know how to cook until someone showed you how to cook. I want you to reverse engineer your own life. You modeled excellence in someone else and built a system from it. The fastest way, and I'm all about speed, because I didn't come to this life to suffer, to just be creating and creating. I'm all about speed. I want to know how you did it so I can do it the same way or even better. You model excellence to produce systems. Why? Because we all start as unconscious incompetence. We all start that way. Even though you have a fantastic goal, you are first incompetent. Virgil says, "Oh God, I'm having low battery." Virgil girl, go and charge your phone. So you first model excellence. And so when I wanted to build idea, I just went to who has excellence, and it was Paul Martinelli. Now let me tell you about this person. This person, Paul, was a high school dropout. You would call it secondary school in your whatever countries you're from. So high school dropout, started a janitorial business. So by janitorial business, it sounds nice, but no, this is what it means. This person was cleaning floors. We all know what that is. Person around you in your office that cleans the floor. I'm talking about the president of the John Maxwell team. From high school dropout to cleaning floors to creating 6 multi-million-dollar businesses. 6. It's one thing to create one. It's another thing to create 6. So I'm like, this person knows systems. If the person can continue to create, when I met him, he had created 4. I've seen him create 2 more. I've seen behind the scenes, and one of the things that I've seen a lot is that he is the master of systems. Lean team, but crazy systems. And so that's the person I started modeling. How does he teach? He was the one that taught me how to script. This scripting thing I taught you about. He was the one, because I taught in his team, we would have to script. He would give me his script. Because if you do that, imagine your script, you can give somebody else to teach once you've taught the person how to teach. He would teach about giving life to the spoken word. So there's a spoken word course of, say you're recording your video so that you don't sound mechanical. There is a course on that. And I would model excellence. I would see what he does before meetings. He would have a checklist, a TikTok, everything in place. I would model that. Your first step to creating excellence is find someone who does what you do, but does it excellently. Model that. Don't just be like, come and show me what you're doing. You come and show me what you're doing. You come and show me what you're doing. I'm just like, is the person supposed to model excellence to you, or are you just taking snippets from different people? I remember someone, John Maxwell also said, look, the reason you want to model excellence is the world mass produces average. The world mass produces average. So once you find someone that is excellent at something, model them. That's how you've built systems in your life. That's how you will build systems in your business. Now, with my business presently, even in preparing for this call, there were things that I saw or didn't see, and I would tell my program's lead, I would say, note that so that we can create a system for it or improve the system on it. Where anything failed in my business or was wrong, or I got feedback from the client that, oh, they didn't like this, I'm like, if something is wrong, it is a system that we did not have or a system that we did not follow. If something is wrong within your businesses, if something is wrong, even to money, the wealth you don't have or have, if something is wrong, I can trace it. And I coach a lot of people, leaders in industries and geniuses. Whenever something is wrong, it is because of a system they either don't have or a system they did not follow. So for instance, those of you who do bulk mails, right? I would give you an example of this. If you do bulk mails, if you ever sent out a bulk mail or an SMS, you can personalize a bulk mail. You have those places where they say, insert name here, right? You would say, it's what makes you in the bulk mail say, Mfon, we are glad to have you. It's a bulk mail. It just means that you can insert the name here. I'm sure that some of you have seen mails, and I've had it in my business a lot, more times than I'm comfortable with, where you see the mail and then you still see that part that says insert name. They did not remember to insert name. So you can see insert name when someone should have put the name, but maybe in writing the person did not remember that was a place to fill. If you've never done a bulk mail or SMS, just stay with me, right? If you've received a mail that had insert name, someone missed something. Now, every time I see that within my office, and if you send a lot of bulk mails, you will get one at some point in time that you didn't do well, that the insert name is still there. And so one day I was just thinking, this is a problem. How can I solve it? What is the system that I don't have, or the system that I am breaking to create this thing? Because I don't want to see 5 weeks it can be great mail, then 1 week you just read the mail and you just say, oh, they forgot to put name. And so I was thinking about this. I was like, what's the system? What's the solution? The solution is always in the system. What's the system? And I said, oh, this is the system. If we restrict every mail to having 3 parts where we can insert names, or maybe 3 different paragraphs where we can insert names. At the end of every mail, whatever, before we click send, we should check the 3 parts. The problem is some mails we call the people's name only once, some mails we call the people's name 5 times. So there's no system to this. So, okay, for every mail, let's mention the person's name in different places, maybe 3 times, or in different places, maybe twice. That way, we can check before we click send that the 2 places or the 3 places that should have insert name has that. Once you impute it into your document, it's a system. We have a system. Usually before, it would be that, oh, every department has to submit their report at the end of the day, but that's tedious. It was tedious for me. It was tedious for them. So recently I said, you know what? Everyone on the team, we have this group chat on the team chat. Like everyone on the team, just at the beginning of the day, tell me 5 things you're going to do. Tell me 5 things you're going to do today. And tell me at the end of the day, so this is my 5 tasks for today, and this is the report on the 5 tasks, done, not done, blah, 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 blah. It's simple. It's a system. Don't complicate your systems. Maybe you're overcomplicating it. That's why you find it difficult. Don't overcomplicate it. In every complaint you get as a business owner is a request to do better. Every complaint means do better. You did not meet my expectation. The problem with you is that your ego is stopping you from learning from complaints. You're just like, you're too defensive. You're too defensive about your business. Like, no, like I didn't like this thing. You're like, no, that's the way it's supposed to be, because no. Within every complaint is a seed on building better systems. Within every complaint, there is a request to do better. Money is a reward. Money is a reward for providing a service. A service is what you provide to meet a need. Therefore, when someone says that the service that you provided did not meet a need, it means sooner or later the money is going to be touched. I'll repeat that if I could draw a diagram, that's what I would draw. Money is the reward for providing a service. Money, service. What is service? What you provide to meet a need. When someone complains about the service, what they are saying is that you did not meet the need, or you did not meet the expectation. And it leads them back to withholding the money from you. That's why money dries up within the business. So it's not that, oh, someone threw a charm on you and your business is not working again. It's that the services do not meet the need. But to do this effectively, you're wasting your complaints. Internally, externally, with vendors, with your team, you're wasting complaints by not building system every time there's something that goes wrong. Every time there's something that goes wrong, do a happy dance. Why? That thing has just exposed a system that you broke, or a system that did not exist. When you first build your business, the gifts your business can give you is things going wrong. Why is that a gift? You start building systems. But we're too caught up with solving the problem. Our ego is too caught up with saying, "Ah, let them not say my business is not." You're not creating a system. The problems in your businesses or your life, and this applies to life as it applies to business. The problems within your life and your business are a gift. It is telling you there's a system you do not have or a system that you're breaching. It's a value system you breached. You then got somebody that served you breakfast. You broke your own value system. You got breakfast served. Or you didn't have a filtering system for the type of person you wanted around you. Whatever, whatever is wrong is a system you did not have or a system you breached in life as it is with business. I remember, and this is as granular. I remember, those of you who know Shola Animasha, he's like a photographer, great one. I mean, first time I was introduced to him, he was supposed to take pictures of our event. We were doing a seminar, and he was going to do the video and the pictures. And I remember when we had the conversation, I said, I will send you a brief. And he said, okay. And then I sent him the brief, and then he called me back and he said, this is the most detailed brief I've ever gotten in my life. Why? You hire people to take pictures. I hire people and I tell them exactly what pictures I want them to take. The result is different. There are some pictures you'll be like, this guy didn't capture these. Oh, he should have captured these. You're looking for, you didn't tell them. You didn't tell them. I realized it after maybe my first two seminars that, this thing happened during the seminar, but I don't have any picture or video of it. So I drew up a system. This is what to take. I want to see the pictures of the food because we always have the spread. I'm like, capture picture of food, group picture by staircase. I would have gone to do a Reiki of the place to know where the group picture should be taken. I'm not going to do it by chance. Take pictures of people entering the class. So because of that, we will put people in a room. There will not be people in the hall, so that by the time the doors are open, there's a stream of people entering the hall, and the video person can capture people coming into the hall rather than just one by one. I'm like, take people entering the venue when cars are driving into the venue. Take that so that when you're creating your video, you show people from the beginning to the end. I'm like, I don't want you to just capture a picture of faces. I want the emotion that happened in the seminar. Take the laughter, take the pictures of the laughter, take the picture of the tears. I literally would script everything. Take the pictures of another person supporting every. He was like, there's no way a photographer misses because they know exactly what they're supposed to take. The problem is that you left it to the other person to then use their initiative to give you what you want to see. When you become a systemic person, two things will happen. It would remove chaotic people from your life. It would remove chaotic circumstances from your life. I will, because we've overexceeded. I was just supposed to have a nice chat with you about systems. I'm not, if you notice, I'm not going to the nitty gritty of, this is how you do systems. No, do it however you want to do it, but create it. Do your systems. Don't go and borrow a system that you can't even understand yourself. The system is just you reverse engineering what works, documenting it, improving on it. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Now, before I leave, and I'm going to leave you guys soon, I have a webinar coming up with Paul Martinelli, the president of John Maxwell team I told you about, who was a janitor and built six multi-million dollar companies. There's a webinar coming up in August with him on how on the systems and strategies he used to build these things, and this is because we're having the blueprint of how 7th year anniversary now. The webinar costs $79, but if you're on this program, you have the seller discount, and so you would get it for $60. Now the reason I'm even saying this, I've never offered a program that is $60. This is going to be my cheapest program ever. For those of you who know me, the cost of my programs are in the thousands of dollars. This is like the cheapest program I've ever offered. So jump on it, take advantage of it. But there are only 100 seats for seller members, because there's a whole other members, the blueprint, the discovery center members. So you only get 100 seats at $60 instead of 79, and this expires in 72 hours. We're literally open cart for you. We haven't even open cart for the rest of the world. Deal expires in 72 hours. You get to actually now build up on hearing how he taught me how to create systems, how he created systems for being a high school dropout to someone who mops floor, to building 6 multi-million-dollar businesses and doing literally almost $500 million in sales, most of it which was repeat sales or repeat customers. This is going to the driving home this modeling excellence. Who would you rather learn from? I paid this person from 2011. I've done every course this person has offered. I think I've almost invested almost $1 million in learning everything he has to teach. So if you're getting to $60, I can guarantee you that it is a steal. His mastermind, just people just learning directly from him, pay about $10,000. So yeah, the link is, can you put the link in the comments? So the link is thediscoverycenter.com/summit offer. thediscoverycenter.com/summit offer. I've just pasted it there. And remember, 100 tickets available, and it expires in 72 hours, so that there's no weeping and gnashing of teeth. Nobody sending me a DM to say, "Ma, please, I missed. I'm not in charge of that. I will not respond to you. I will love you, but I will not be able to help." All right. So it has been my pleasure. I hope this call has just given you, first of all, the confidence to know that you're living, breathing, productive systems operator already. I hope your level has increased from thinking you're incompetent to knowing that you are an unconscious competent. We just have to make you a conscious competent. Build the systems for your dream, your goal. I don't care what it is, who you want to marry, what you want to do, how you want your children to be raised, how you want your love life to be with your spouse, how you want your home to be, what profit centers you want to, how you want to create, what you want to be known for. Build the systems. And then if you follow me on Instagram, it's Mfon Ekpo 1 on Instagram, you will see how there's no just. I want you to start looking at people who succeed at what they do and just like, I see what they did there. Start reverse engineering also other people's businesses and saying, this is why this person things work. This is what they do. It's not a fluke. They do it over and over again. So it has been my Pleasure spending this morning or afternoon or evening with you, whatever time it is. I will see you at the webinar if you join. If not, I will see you walking on the streets of Instagram or any other place. Have a fantastic day. So over to you guys.
Hi guys, my name is Lucky Elohor and I am a digital creator. One of the things I love about Seller is the ease and simplicity it provides for me to be able to transact with clients and students from all over the world. Seller has so many amazing features that I really love, so it would be hard to pick a favorite feature. But if I'm to really pick my favorite feature on Seller, as a queen of automation and someone who likes to lay a bunch of products together because I don't want to leave any money on the table, I would say my favorite feature on Seller right now is upsells and cross-sells. I love this feature so much because it allows you to sell related products or even sell the premium offer after someone buys. I love Seller so much, so you should definitely try Seller.
Hey there! Do you have courses, ebooks, or any digital products you would like to sell to a global audience? Do you know the platform you use is very important to how much sales you make for your digital products? Seller makes selling digital products easy, and we have all the tools you need. Trusted by over 10,000 creators in Africa. On Seller, you can sell ebooks, courses, memberships and subscriptions, services, events and webinar tickets, and really any kind of digital product you can think of. In less than 5 minutes, you can create an online store on Seller and sell your digital products to anyone, anywhere in the world. Go to seller.co, sign up for free, and get started.
Our next speaker is an exceptional consultant and peak performance coach, known for developing human capacity in organizations to surpass financial targets. He has received numerous awards and is a member of the Forbes Coaching Council. He is also a social reformer and founder of Live Your Dreams Africa Foundation, which empowers youth and creates jobs. He is highly experienced in management consulting, specializing in areas such as leadership, emotional intelligence, and team bonding. He has worked with notable organizations, including the World Bank and Google. His name is Bankole, and he will be speaking to us on the topic, the creator's mental health, better practices for better living.
Hi, everyone. Hope you all can hear me. It's a pleasure to be here. Amazing work that Sela is doing. Let me go to the comments and be sure that people can hear me. Who's out there? Who's out there? Hi. Welcome to today's session on the creator's mental health. If you can hear me loud and clear, please drop a comment. Let me know if you can see and if you can hear me. Do let me know. Right. Okay. I see you. Stance Music Lab. Hi, Manuel. How are you guys doing? Right. Fantastic. It's such a pleasure to be here. Stella doing some amazing work with creators, putting out their digital products out there. Okay. So I will proceed to share my slides. I see that you guys can hear me. Hold on a second. Okay, so whilst I am trying to get my slides to upload, yeah, I see Justice says he can see me and hear me. Hi, Happiness, right? Hi, Alex. I want to ask you a question. How has it been being a creator in our current world, right? Has it been easy? How does it affect your energy, your emotions, right? Have you been more creative in the environment that we currently find ourselves in, right? Yeah, I see that on my slide. Okay, beautiful. Tell me, I hope you all can see my slides. I really hope you can. Divine says, I'm here for this, right? The creator's mental health. So tell me, how has it been, in this environment that we're in with all the seeming toxicity that's going on out there, all the negativity that's thrown on different platforms and things like that? Do you feel like you are at your best, right? Do you feel like you're operating at your optimum? Do you feel like there are opportunities for you to be able to do, better and be better in spite of all that's happening, right? Somebody says that, yeah, they can see my slides. People's hate comments, no be joke, right? Just seems to be so much that's happening out there in the world, right? So I know I can see some comments here, and I think that this platform is connected to other platforms like YouTube and all of that, right? Stan says it's not been easy, all that. Okay. Alex says it's been very challenging, and I have learned many things today that I will put into practice. Beautiful. It's been quite stressful, especially when you are trying to make ends meet, right? Don't worry. Today, you're going to receive strategy. You're going to receive insightful, practical strategies that you can begin to utilize to ensure that you can function optimally and you are balanced, right, in your inner world, so that things can be balanced in their external world. If you would love to hear these practical strategies in the comments, just tell me. Just say Bankole shoots, as in let's go there, let's do this, right? So welcome. My name is Bankole Williams. And I would love to speak on this subject, maintaining sanity and winning over the crisis, right? Maintaining sanity, right? And winning over the crisis, the creator's mental health, right? I see some of your comments, they're a bit delayed, before they come here, but it's fine, right? So I want to ask you a question, very, very simple question. Have you ever been chased by a dog before? Can anybody in the comments let me know this? Have you ever been chased by a dog before? And if you were chased by a dog, did you find yourself doing the impossible? Right? Was there anything that you saw yourself doing that was literally, out of the ordinary, something that you would not do on a regular day if you've ever been chased by a dog? And if you've never been chased by a dog, your childhood is incomplete, right? At one point in time or the other, something would have chased you and you would have done the impossible, right? The solution is always in the system. Wow. Garby, you were just seeing your comments from Mfon session, and Mfon session was amazing, by the way. I caught some aspects of that, right? Divine says I was 6. Tehimbe says I ran faster than normal. Fantastic, ran faster than normal. And that's averagely what would happen to the regular person, right? When they are chased by a dog, you find yourself running faster than Usain Bolt. You find yourself jumping on a car that you ordinarily not even have jumped on. You find yourself, jumping over a gutter, jumping over a fence, literally doing the impossible. Alex says, I flew like an angel. I ran faster than ever before. Right now, if you've ever been chased by a dog, pretty much like everybody here has been saying, you would literally find yourself doing something that previously you would have said you could not do. No, now I'm reminded of a true story of a lady that I heard about. She was somewhere where there was a robbery attack. And when she heard the gunshots of the robbers, she ran for her dear life. And she saw a fence and she jumped over the fence to the other side of the building, right? And when, she landed on the other side of the building, she went to one corner to just chill, right? And she waited for the gunshots to go. For the robbers to go. She wanted to stop hearing the gunshots before she left. After a period of time, she stopped hearing the gunshots. So she presumed that the robbers could have left. So she went to the front of the building to try to exit the building, and she noticed that the gate had a massive padlock on it. So it was an abandoned building, apparently, and she didn't know. So this lady began to cry out for help, screaming, Egbamio, please come and help me. And people on the other end of the fence, they heard her screaming and they ran in her direction. And when they ran in her direction, they were like, Madam, what's the problem? The lady screams and she's like, I am stuck. They said, Madam, how did you get there? She said, when the robbers were shooting, I ran for my dear life and I jumped from the other end and I landed in here. They said, how did you say you entered again? She said, I jumped. They said, Madam, can you just jump back out? And she said, I cannot. How come all of a sudden what she could do when there was a threat, now that there is no threat, she cannot do? So can you see what happens when there is a threat in the environment? The threat could be a dog, right? The threat could be, an animal chasing your robbers. You literally would find yourself doing the impossible. So the big question I want to ask is that energy that the lady used to jump over the fence, right, when she heard the gunshots, where did that energy come from? Can anybody tell me? Where did that energy that the lady used to jump over a fence, or for instance, if you're being chased by a dog, you jump on a car or run faster than Usain Bolt? Can somebody in comments tell me, where does that energy come from? Does the energy come from above? Maybe it just jumped on you in the moment, or was it generated from within? Right? I'm actually looking out for people's comments. I wish I was on YouTube also to see what you guys are saying, right? But somebody tell me in the comments, where do you think it came from? That energy to do the impossible, did it come from up above, externally on top of her, or was it activated from within? Right? Somebody says it was activated from within. So the energy came from within her, right? So that proves something. Right? When there's a threat, somebody says you're motivated to do the impossible, Bankole Williams. Right? So where did that energy come from? The energy, right, came from within, and it aligns with one of the laws of thermodynamics that states that energy is not created or destroyed. Energy is only transformed. So let me help you understand. That energy was from within, but it was transformed. What does that mean? Whenever there is a threat in the environment, and please flow with me, I'm going somewhere that would be so beautiful. So just tag along with me, right? So whenever there is a threat in the environment, right, we switch into survival mode, we switch into protection mode. And what happens is that the energy that you would ordinarily be using to eat, to digest foods, the energy that you ordinarily be using, for the functions of certain organs of your body, your liver, your kidney, right? All that energy is transported to your survival centers. So all that energy is transported to your hands, all that energy is transported to your feet, because those are your survival centers. When there is a threat, you want to fight the threat with your hands, or you want to flee from the threat with your legs. So you require your hands and your legs when there is a threat and you need to survive. So the energy for some other functions of the body is transported to your hands, transported to your feet, so that you can protect yourself. Please flow with me. So energy was not created, it was generated or transferred from within to your hands and to your feet, right? I hope we're flowing, and I hope you get that, right? You guys in the comments are just something else, right? So I want to explain what happens in the human anatomy, what happens internally, right? Whenever we are threatened, right? When we're threatened, I see moments with immediacy, your adrenaline or your adrenal glands. So whenever there is a threat in the environment, the body releases hormones in the body, right? So two hormones I want to speak about today, right? The first hormone it releases is adrenaline, right? So there's adrenaline that is released in your body. The fight or flight hormone is released in your body for protection when there is a threat. But another hormone is also released called cortisol. Now, cortisol is the stress hormone, right? Now, cortisol is necessary for an emergency when there is a threat in the environment, and it is optimal in the short term. So you need cortisol to be able to protect yourself in the short term. But cortisol in the long term is harmful to the body, right? In the short term, when there's an emergency, it is necessary. You need that stress, that would cause your body to take action for preservation. It is optimal in the short term. However, in the long term, it is harmful to the body. So what are some of the things that happens to the body when there is excess cortisol over an extended period of time in the body? I'll tell you. Number one is that it affects your memory, right? It begins to affect the learning center of the brain. It affects the hippocampus. And what happens is that when there's excess cortisol, all of a sudden, you can't remember the way you would ordinarily do. Can I ask you a question, right? I like to make things practical. Have you ever had to deliver a presentation before some very important decision makers, right? So maybe you had to deliver a presentation before the management team of an organization, or you went for a pitch, as a creator, you went for a pitch, right? And you needed to pitch your business before some decision makers who would, ultimately want to give funds to your business, right? And you went for that pitch, but before the day of the pitch, you had rehearsed your speech. You had crammed everything, and you said, today I'm going to show them, right? You had looked at, all the parameters you were going to talk about, came up with this beautiful business proposition and, how much money the business will be generating, right? You had done everything, crammed everything. And then on that day, you stood before the panel, right? Those investors, the decision makers, and their eyes peering into your soul, right? Them just staring at you became a threat. In the moment, momentarily, it became a threat to you. You were threatened by their presence. And because you were threatened by their presence, all of a sudden, you switched into survival mode. You switched into self-preservation mode. And the body caused the release of these chemicals, caused the release of adrenaline, caused the release of cortisol. And cortisol in excess in the moment in your brain caused you to forget everything that you had rehearsed. You went blank. Has that ever happened to you in the comments? Please let me know, right? You went blank, and all of a sudden you started stammering, you started stuttering, something you had perfectly rehearsed. You want to know why that happened? Cortisol. It degenerates the memory center of the brain. I'm sure some of these things that I'm beginning to explain is beginning to make sense to you. So when we live in stress, right, it impacts on our memory center, right? It impacts on our ability to recall information, right? So that's the first one. The second thing that cortisol does is that cortisol begins to affect your creativity. You cannot learn under duress and under stress. You are not as creative to come up with good ideas and great solutions when there is excess cortisol in the body, right? I'm seeing some interesting comments. And then you get there and only to miss your points. After the meeting, you start remembering exactly, because cortisol will leave. So cortisol is there when there's a threat. When you leave, cortisol leaves and then your memory comes back, right? Now, the second thing that I said is affects is your creativity, right? Can I ask you a question? And, like I said, I love to make this thing practical. Imagine right there in the room that you are in, right? Or let's say perhaps you are in your office, right? And then the fire alarm goes on. So just imagine with me that the fire alarm goes on, right, in your office, and everybody starts scrambling for the fire exit. In that moment, when the fire alarm is going on, when there is an emergency, please, can you tell me, in that moment, can you come up with a creative idea to advance the cause of the organization that you work in? Please tell me in the comments. Right there in that moment when there is an emergency, everybody's scrambling. Can you create a solution? Can you create, an idea that would advance a product of your organization or advance the cause of that organization in that moment? The answer is a big No. No, it can't happen, right? When there is an emergency, right? When there is a threat, we cannot be creative. Survival and creativity cannot happen simultaneously. Somebody write that down. Survival and creativity cannot happen simultaneously. Somebody says everybody will jackpot. In jackpot mode, you can never be creative, right? You cannot be creative. So can you see what cortisol does? Can you see what begins to happen to the body when we are consistently perceiving a threat, right? I hope we're flowing and we're learning, right? When we're consistently perceiving a threat, right? So what you use for survival, you lose for creativity. Oh, I hope somebody got that. I really hope somebody got that. What you use for survival, you lose for creativity, because survival and creativity cannot occur simultaneously. Do you understand that? They can't happen simultaneously. Because for you to be in creativity mode, you have to be in growth mode, right? Growth and creativity are synonymous. There has to be growth, right, for there to be creativity. But guess what? Your body cannot grow, right? The centers of your body responsible for growth cannot function optimally, right? Your digestive tract and all of that, they can't function optimally because you are losing energy from there for your hands and for your feet for survival, right? Can I ask you a question? Can contraction and expansion happen simultaneously? Can contraction and expansion happen simultaneously? When there is a threat in the environment, you are contracting away from the threat. That's what happens. You contract away from the threat, right? Now, if you are contracting away from the threat, in that moment, can growth or expansion happen at the same time? They can't happen at the same time. They can't happen simultaneously, right? And I'm going somewhere with this so that some of you will begin to see why you are trying to come up with an article. You are either a script writer or something. You're a content creator. You're trying to come up with something, and it's not coming. You are not connecting. It's not flowing. I want to show you why it's not flowing. Why that idea to take your business to the next level, why it's not coming in as much as you are putting pressure on yourself to get that idea, right? It's because of this thing that I'm telling you, the consciousness of a threat. So growth, right, cannot occur when you are in survival mode. When you are in survival mode, growth cannot occur. So whilst I know I have used an analogy of a dog chasing you, so the dog in this instance is the threat, right? So the dog in this instance is the threat. What if the threat is not just a dog, right? So whilst I know that earlier on I used the analogy of a dog, right, as a threat, what if the threat is not a dog? What if the threat is your boss in the office? What if the threat is the global crisis that's going on in the world, economic downturns, and all the conversation, around how economies of the world are struggling? What if that's the threat in the environment? What if the threat is that unpaid bill? That outstanding bill that's supposed to show up at the end of the month. What if that's the threat? What if the threat is traffic? What if the threat is the fuel price? I know that, I watched a video today of Rufai. How many of you know Rufai Hussein? A very funny character. The guy went to a filling station and the attendant was saying, you know how attendants will ask you, Oga, fill up? The guy just started laughing, fill up. He said, in this Nigeria's economy, fill up. And then the attendant was like, was now telling him about how somebody came with a bulletproof car, right? And the attendant asked him, Oga, fill up? And the guy was like, no, I cannot do fill up. That even the owner of a bulletproof car is feeling the effect of the fuel crisis, right? But my point is, these are the different threats that, so to speak, or potential threats that exist, right? And people perceive as real threats out there. What if the threat is social media, right? Those handles that you are following, right, on social media, right? What if the threat is that WhatsApp group that you are in that consistently feeds you with all the negativity that's going on in the world, right? What if that's the threat? People are unknowingly switching to survival mode, right? Unknowingly, they're switching into survival mode because of all of these threats. Are we getting this thing? Are we getting this thing? The point here is sometimes, right, the threat is real. Some other times, the threat is not real. The threat is something that you just think about, right? And people are being triggered by thought alone. Do you know what I'm saying? They're being triggered by their thoughts. So there's no apparent threat, which is the difference between fear and anxiety. Fear is an emotional response to an apparent threat, or to a threat that is apparent. So there's a dog right in front of you. Fear will make you run, right? Fear in the moment is going to make you run from a dog that's in front of you. But what if there's no real dog, but it's your imagination that's creating that thing, right? You will have anxiety. Anxiety is an emotional response to a threat that has not yet come. So the bill is due at the end of the month, but you are already thinking about the bill. It is not yet due. The landlord has not yet come. They've not thrown your property out of the house, but you are already living in anxiety of a potential threat that is not yet apparent. It's not yet here, right? And the point I'm trying to get is whether it is a real threat or a threat that is just imagined. The mind and the body do not know the difference. They will release the same pharmacy of chemicals as though a dog is chasing you in real life. Did you get what I just said? I said even if you are imagining it, right? Even if you are imagining your children's school fees that you need to pay and you don't yet have money for it, and you are just imagining it, or it's not yet, that bill is not yet due. Even if you are only imagining it, it is not real. The body and the mind take it as real, and they will release in your body the same chemicals that they would have released if a dog was chasing you in real time. Are we flowing? Do we get this? Right? The body doesn't know the difference. I'm going to prove it to you. Right? The mind and the body, they don't know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. They don't know the difference. Right? Let me ask you a question. Right? Let's make this thing really, like I said, I keep making things really practical. Have you ever slept and had a dream, a nightmare? Right? You had a nightmare that maybe you were chasing you in your dream. I don't know, somebody was chasing you in the dream. And then you woke up and you were sweating. Right? It did not happen in real life, but it happened in your imagination. But your body was releasing, and the AC was on, by the way. The AC was on, but you are releasing real sweat. Has that ever happened to you before? I said the mind and the body, they don't know the difference between what is real and what is fiction. I'll give you another example. Have you ever watched a movie that had a sad ending? Right? So maybe the actor died, and then you shed real tears, as in the tears just came, they started streaming down your eyes. In fact, this is not the first time you're watching the movie. This is the 5th time you're watching the movie. You know that scene is coming. Yes, the body will cause you to shed real tears. Can I ask you a question? Did the actor die in real life? The answer is no, he didn't die. But the body and the mind took it as real, and the body shed real tears. Right? Are we flowing? Do we get this thing? Right? So what am I trying to help you see? I'm trying to help you see that when we think of a threat, even when it is not apparent, we are signaling the body to go into survival mode. And once it goes into survival mode, the same pharmacy of chemicals, the same chemistry will be released. So it will still release adrenaline, it will still release cortisol. And guess what? These chemicals are good when there is an emergency. But when there is no emergency and you are causing them to be released in your bloodstream, drip by drip, on a consistent basis, can you imagine the harm, so to speak, that we're causing either to our body or to our mental health? Are we flowing? Are we flowing? Do you get this thing? Right? So the mind and the body, they don't know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. Right? Some of you, how many of you remember this movie, The Titanic? There was quite a bit of conversation around the Titanic recently because of the submarine that was going to view it and imploded, right? But this is one movie that I know that caused a lot of people to shed real tears, right? In as much as Leonardo DiCaprio made stupid money from the movie, right? A number of people still shed real tears. But I'm bringing this thing home to help you see how the mind and the body do not know the difference, right? So when we are consistently triggered by a perceived threat, the body signals the stress hormone, right? And you predispose yourself to be a victim. Did you get that? When we are consistently triggered, right? And I see a lot of people, considering the kind of world that we're in, I see a lot of people who are consistently triggered by perceived threats. The threats may just be something that you see online, and then maybe it happened in some country abroad. It happened in Norway, it happened in Russia, and your mind has traveled and thought that if it can happen in Norway, how much more a country like Nigeria? You've traveled, you've already started to imagine something that is not even happening in real time. You've imagined the worst case scenario so that if anything less than the worst case scenario happens, you feel better prepared for it. But guess what? In doing that, you are putting yourself in a position where you are in survival mode. And guess what? As a creative, you cannot be creative. You can't. You can't. You can't. You call yourself a creative? A creative should have the capacity to consistently create. And if there are blockages to your creativity, I am telling you what these things are. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you are living in stress mode and you live there in perpetuity, you will struggle with creativity. It's just the fact. It's just the reality of life. You are at your absolute best. You are at your absolute best when you are not functioning from stress. Hear what I'm saying, guys. You are at your absolute best when you are not functioning from stress. Have you ever, been working and you just felt like you were in the zone, right? You are in the zone, as in your creative juices were flowing. If you check in those moments, you were at ease. If you really check in those moments when your creative juices were flowing, right? Your attention, you are fully present in the moment. Your mind was not drifting and wandering in random directions of your needs, and your fears and all of those things. You were fully present in the moment. It felt like you were in your zone. In fact, you were so present that you were absent with every other thing. Has that happened to you before? You were so fully present in what you were doing that you were absent with every other thing. In fact, you were so absent with every other thing that you did not even realize how much time had gone. You looked out of the window and you noticed it was dark. You lost cognizance of what was happening around you because you were fully present in the moment, right? Did you get that? Right? So the big question is, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? Anybody wants to know, right? How do we, Bankole, you've highlighted a significant problem. And if this is you that I'm speaking to, please let me know in the comments and just say, Bankole, you're talking to me, right? You've highlighted a significant problem that I have observed, that's particularly in the current world I have been dealing with. You got to show me how to fix this. Anybody want to know how to address this such that we can tap into the realm and the dimensions of creativity as often as possible, right? In the comments, just say, Bankole, show us the way, right? The big question is, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? How do we move from survival to creativity? How do we move from survival to creativity? How do we move to the point where we are in a flow state and we're in growth, right? To be able to optimize our gifts, and use them in such an empowering way, right? I see you all saying, Bankole, show me the way, right? Don't worry, I'm going to show you, man, right? We must first understand that the currency of the current world has changed, right? The currency of the world, especially after 2020, the currency of the world changed, right? And I'm gonna highlight it for you to see. How many of you noticed in 2020 when COVID kicked in? How many of you noticed that COVID did not respect your money? Did you notice that COVID did not respect your money? There were people who had money, but they still died, right? It didn't respect your money. It didn't respect, I knew wealthy billionaires that died. It didn't respect your creativity. I knew creative geniuses that died, right? It didn't respect intellect. I knew intelligent people, right, who were victims of the virus, right? It didn't, and what I found out was that it only respected your immunity, right? It only respected your immunity, and your immunity is your internal energy, to fight the virus. Please flow with me. It only respected your internal energy to fight the virus. So the currency of the new dispensation that we find ourselves in, right, is energy. The currency of the new world is energy. And we must be mindful of how we use and direct our energy, because there are so many things in this world trying to vie for it, trying to take it away, right? We must be mindful to protect our energy, right? See, it's not just time. Some people think, oh, time is flying and I need to be able to manage time. See, time is a currency you cannot manage. Somebody's saying, but with their time management classes, how do you manage something that's consistently going? It's consistent. You can't stop it. The next second will come. There's nothing you will do to delay the next second. It is consistently moving. How do you manage something that is in constant motion? Time is consistently moving. But what you can do is manage your energy in time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Manage what you do or your energy in time. Energy is the currency, and you cannot afford to expend it anyhow, right? So what is this energy? This thing, Bankole, what's this energy they're talking about? Attention is energy. Your attention is energy, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Your attention. Have you not noticed that we don't say just give attention, right? We say pay attention, because you are expending something. Do you get that? You pay. Why do we say you pay attention? Because it's a cost. It's costing you something when you are placing your attention on a thing. Attention is currency. You don't just pay money, you pay attention, because it is the currency of life. Do you get what I'm saying? It is the currency of life. The question is, where have you been placing your attention? That is where the currency of your life is being expended. Oh, I hope somebody gets this thing. I really hope somebody gets this thing, right? It is currency. Attention is energy. And this is a law. I'm not just telling you something that's fancy. I'm telling you it's a law. It's a universal law. Attention is energy. For where your attention goes, your energy flows. And where your energy flows, your results show. You want to know why your results are the way they are. The root cause is what you have been attending to, or where you have been placing your attention. Attention is energy. And where your attention goes, your energy flows, right? It's a law. Your energy would always flow in the direction of your attention. When there was a threat, a dog chasing you, did you not notice that your energy went in the direction of what you were attending to? You are placing your attention on protection. When there is a threat, your attention is on your protection. Did you not see how much of your energy went in the direction of your protection? Because once you shift your attention somewhere, your energy flows in that direction. My question to you is, there are 24 hours in a day. Where does your attention go? Where do you spend the bulk of your attention? Because that's your life force that you are donating. I hope you are donating it to something, or I hope you are investing it and not just donating it. Did you hear what I said? I really hope you are investing it and not just freely giving your life force in multiple directions. Are we learning, guys? Telling you true stuff, right? And you see, with the current world, you want to know why people are dealing with a lot of mental health related issues? You want to know why a lot of people are dealing with toxic negative energy and emotions in the current world that we're in? You want to know why? People unconsciously have not been paying attention to what they've been paying attention to. Hear what I'm saying? People unconsciously have not been paying attention to what they've been paying attention to. You are in that WhatsApp group that spends where there is conversation and arguments around negativity, around something bad that happened in one part of the world, and it's sensational. It's addictive to pay attention to that conversation, and it begins to cause your energy, to your heart to start feeling some type of way. But you have to engage. You have to engage. You have to be a part of the conversation. And you've spent 3 hours giving attention to negativity. Your vital life force has gone in that direction. Small wonder you have lost energy. You feel drained. It's the beginning of the day, but you don't have strength to carry you for the rest of the day. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? Your attention is fixed on that handle. Say, I'm a creative, so I have to know what's going on. You fix your attention on that handle that never has anything positive to say, or that news station that keeps repeating the negativity that's happening around the world. Your attention, your vital life force has gone in which direction? Are we getting this thing? Protect your attention. It's your currency, it's your gold. Protect your attention. It's your currency, it's your gold. Okay, I hear that I'm almost out of time, right? Please, can you let me know exactly how much time I have so that I can work within your time frame, right? Please just send me a message and let me know the exact amount of time I have. Or if it's time up, just let me know so that I can wrap up. I'm just seeing the private message that was sent to me, right? Emmanuel, if you're here, please let me know. So how do we harness this energy, right? I feel like I'm really touching. There's somebody who is listening to this and saying, Bankole, it's like you're speaking to me. This is my life that you have laid bare before everyone, right? How do we, okay, I see I have a private message. Okay, I hear I am out of time. Okay, so I'll just wrap up, right? So how do we harness this energy? Right? How do we harness this energy? I'll just be quick, right? I'm just going to share one thing. I had other things that I wanted to share, but because of time, I will not be able to do that. So I'll just share one thing that I believe that you can do, right, that would help you, right? There's something called brain time. Maximize brain time, and I'll just wrap up here, right? So I honor the time that the organizers have given me, right? There's something called brain time, right? And if you can begin to do this, you can transform your life. Something called brain time. Brain time is the moment just before you drift to bed and the moment first thing when you wake up, right? The moment just before you drift off to bed, and just before the moment just when you wake up. Brain time. Those are the most powerful moments in life. But guess what? A lot of us use the most powerful moments of our lives to do the most insignificant thing. We found out that 80% of people who have smartphones wake up to their smartphones first thing in the morning. That's the first thing that most people do. Guess what? Where your attention goes, your energy flows, right? Your attention has gone in the direction of the mobile phone. Can you see where your energy has gone, right? So that's the most critical time is what people use for the least important thing. Brain time, first 20 minutes when you wake up, right? Can you use that moment in time to attend to the things that are most important. And what does that mean? Imagine if you started your day, right? Because the mind does not know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. What if the first 20 minutes of your day, you dedicated it to thinking about how the great, grand, most magnificent version of you would show up in the course of the day? And you began to envision that in your mind. It's called mental rehearsal. Because the mind does not know the difference between what is imagined and what is real, right? That image that you create, it takes it as real, and then it begins to instruct your body to go in that direction. That way, you can begin to maximize and optimize your energy. The reason why this is critical is because your conscious faculty takes time to wake up, right? Your subconscious faculty is active first thing when you wake up. So the storehouse, right, is open. The portal is open first thing when you wake up. It takes some time for the conscious mind that closes the portal, right, to wake up. So before the security man, wakes up at the gate, you want to be able to access the building, right? So that's one thing you want to do. Mental rehearsal. Begin to carefully begin to think and imagine what the greatest, lofty, grandest version of you would do, right, in the course of the day, and begin to install that in your imagination. Because as you do that in your imagination, your mind and your body will take it as real. It will take it as real. And the more you do that, first thing when you wake up, last thing before you sleep. Why is this important? Last thing before you sleep. Your day today did not start this morning. Today started yesterday night, because the first day was the evening and the morning. The last thoughts before you sleep are so critical, right? Imagine if your last thoughts before you slept were the thoughts of greatness, of gratitude, of the grandest version of you. You will be sending into the storehouse raw material for factory workers to work on. Because when we sleep, our body converts to a factory. The factory workers, they come out and they begin to work, right? And they will work on raw material. It is either you intentionally give them raw materials, or they will go and source for raw materials themselves. Do you understand? Or they will go and source. Thank you, Justice. I see your comment. You say this is the most practical session of this summit. Right. Thank you. Right. If you do not intentionally give the factory workers raw material, they will go and source for random raw materials. And that's why people will have funny kinds of dreams, because the factory workers have gone to search for things randomly. You did not intentionally give them raw material and resources to work on, right? So pay attention to those two moments. Last thing before you sleep. Very, very powerful. So that you are giving raw material to the cells of your body. And at the end of the production line, they will produce a product. The product must be better than raw material, right? And first thing when you wake up, install the right thoughts in your imagination. The mind and the body will take it as real. And that way, you are able to begin to change the programs that disempower you. And you are able to ensure that you find yourself in a state where you can optimize your creativity and not live in stress and live in survival. And I hope that, what I've shared has been helpful to you. I had a few more points, but, I think I'll just land it here. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share with you guys. And thank you for giving me your attention, because I recognize that your attention is your vital life force and its power. God bless you guys.
This is Uzoma. He's a course creator. He sells ebooks and makes roughly $2,000 monthly from his course sales. Do you know where he hosts his courses, ebooks, and digital products? Seller. He even built sales pages with Seller Page Builder. Now this is Alona. She's a freelance corporate and she has customers in the UK and USA. She even gets paid at least $1,000 for her services, and gets the platform she processes her payment with. Seller. Now, this is Kwame. He is an affiliate marketer and actively promotes Aluna's course using the swift and easy to use affiliate marketing feature on Seller. In fact, he just joined the affiliate network where he has access to thousands of courses he can promote. Why aren't you selling on Seller? Everyone is selling on Seller, but you. Sign up on Seller today.
Hey there! Do you have courses, ebooks, or any digital products you would like to sell to a global audience? Do you know the platform you use is very important to how much sales you make for your digital products? Seller makes selling digital products easy, and we have all the tools you need. Trusted by over 10,000 creators in Africa. On Seller, you can sell ebooks, courses, memberships and subscriptions, services, events and webinar tickets, and really any kind of digital product you can think of. In less than 5 minutes, you can create an online store on Seller and sell your digital products to anyone, anywhere in the world. Go to seller.co, sign up for free, and get started.
When life gives you lemons, create an online course on how to make lemonade and sell it on Seller. lemon in the sweet self.
Hi guys, my name is Lucky Elahor and I am a digital creator. One of the things I love about Seller is the ease and simplicity it provides for me to be able to transact with clients and students from all over the world. Seller has so many amazing features that I really love, so it would be hard to pick a favorite feature. But if I'm to really pick my favorite feature on Seller, as a queen of automation and someone who likes to lay a bunch of products together because I don't want to leave any money on the table, I would say my favorite feature on Seller right now is upsells and cross-sells. I love this feature so much because it allows you to sell related products or even sell the premium offer after someone buys. I love Seller so much, so you should definitely try it.
Hey there! Do you have courses, ebooks, or any digital products you would like to sell to a global audience? Do you know the platform you use is very important to how much sales you make for your digital products? Seller makes selling digital products easy, and we have all the tools you need. Trusted by over 10,000 creators in Africa. On Seller, you can sell ebooks, courses, memberships and subscriptions, services, events and webinar tickets, and really any kind of digital product you can think of. In less than 5 minutes, you can create an online store on Seller and sell your digital products to anyone, anywhere in the world. Go to seller.co, sign up for free, and get started.
This is Uzoma. He is a course creator. He sells ebooks and makes roughly $2,000 monthly from his course sales. Do you know where he hosts his courses, ebooks, and digital products? Seller. He even builds sales pages with Seller Page Builder. Now this is Alona. She's a freelance corporate and she has customers in the UK and USA. She even gets paid at least $1,000 for her services and gets the platform she processes her payment with. Seller. Now this is Kwame. He is an affiliate marketer and actively promotes Aluna's course using the swift and easy to use affiliate marketing feature on Seller. In fact, He just joined the affiliate network where he has access to thousands of courses he can promote. Why aren't you selling on Seller? Everyone is selling on Seller, but you. Sign up on Seller today.
For our next session, we'll be having a panel hosted by Ibere Lisa, also known as the Digitalist. The title of this panel session is Leveraging Content Creation for International Recognition. Speaking on this panel are amazing creators, Elozonam, Judge Too Funny, and Folasade Daini. Elozonam Obolu comes from Delta State, Nigeria. He's a connoisseur of creativity. He was born and raised in Lagos State, Nigeria, and is a graduate of economics from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Ghana. He's a content creator, an actor, an artist, a voice artist, a TV show host, and a producer. He's also the brand ambassador for companies like Premier Cool and Star Radler. He owns a production company called Zaizigi Multimedia and has worked with notable brands like Maltina, Oraimo, Stanbic IBTC, to mention a few. Josh Alfred, popularly known by his stage name Josh Too Funny, is a content creator and comedian. He's the creator of the famous Don't Leave Me challenge and the All My Guys Are Ballers trend. He has over 2 million followers on Instagram and has worked with multiple national and international brands, including Meta, OctaFX, Coca-Cola, amongst others. Folasade is a believer, Texas, and lifestyle creator, showing people how to do love and life God's way. She transitioned into tech during the COVID-19 pandemic and enjoys creating content that helps others do the same. As a content strategist, Folasade is intentional about building content that first serves the reader before algorithms, thereby providing content real estate that stands the test of time. Her expertise is demonstrated in her ability to create engaging and informative content for many audiences. Join us as we welcome our speakers along with our wonderful host, Ibere Lisa.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Good evening from Lagos, actually. Then, thank you for joining us for the Seller Creator Summit. My name is Ibere Lisa, and I'm delighted to host this amazing panel session with amazing influencers who have been making global strides. You listened to their introduction, and from that introduction, you already know that will be sharing wonderful insights on their journey and how you as well can go global as a creator.
This is Uzoma. He's a course creator. He sells ebooks and makes roughly $2,000 monthly from his course sales. Do you know where he hosts his courses, ebooks, and digital products? Seller. He even builds sales pages with Seller Page Builder. Now, this is Alona. She's a freelance corporate and she has customers in the UK and USA. She even gets paid at least $1,000 for her services and gets the platform she processes her payments with. Seller. Now, this is Kwame. He is an affiliate marketer and actively promotes Aluna's course using the swift and easy to use affiliate marketing feature on Seller. In fact, he just joined the affiliate network where he has access to thousands of courses he can promote. Why aren't you selling on Seller? Everyone is selling on Seller, but you. Sign up on Seller today.
When life gives you lemons, create an online course on how to make lemonade and sell it on Seller. This lemonade is sweet self.
Hey guys, hello everyone. So apologies for the delay in transmission and with the whole issues with the network, but we are here now. Please, if you can see me and if you can hear me, let me know. Guys, we have some of the amazing people here. We have Josh Tufoni, we have Elozonam, and we have Folasade Daini. Guys, this is going to be an amazing session. So please, Emmanuel, can you just add them to the stream so that we could get started? I know that our guests have a whole lot of things to do, and we apologize for the break in transmission. Yes, we have Josh Tufoni here, Folasade and Elozonam. Amazing. All my guys are ballers. Elozonam is here, Folasade is here, guys. I'm so excited. So let's just get right into it, right? So actually, this session we'll be talking about like content creation and how like creators can use content to take their message global, right? Because the theme of the summit is like taking your message global. And I would love to start with Josh, right? So Josh, basically you are you're the master of making trends go viral. From Don't Leave Me to All My Guys Are Ballers, and also to like your to the audition. Like these are content pieces that you have that like these things that go viral. What factors do you think actually adds up to like your content being a global sensation?
Okay. Good day, everybody. Elozonam. This good Folasade, Mfon. Thank you for having me here. Okay, yeah. So virality is unprecedented. It's not something you plan, you know. But then there are factors you can just put in place to give your videos potentials of going viral. And what I think is my key factor is barriers. If you can erase some of the barriers or reduce some of the barriers, like language barriers, and age barriers, So I know some people know that Just Phone is like a family brand. Everybody can consume what I produce. And I try as much as possible, to meet everybody's needs, to make sure that children, adults, will one way or the other find my videos appealing. And language barrier in the sense that I don't know if you know Kabi. Kabi doesn't talk, and that's why he's all over the world, because everybody understands the person that don't talk. You understand? But because your comedy might be in Yoruba language, so most times it's probably the Yoruba community you reach out to, and you have totally lost some of your Igbo fans, your Calabar fans, your other people. Yeah. So I think it's just those factors that you put. But when you put them in place, it doesn't mean they will just go viral. Sometimes you don't know how these things just happen. Yeah, but those are the things you can just to give them more respect. Yeah.
True, I feel you. That's amazing. And you've actually, used these things in your own content, from Don't Leave Me to All My Guys Are Ballers. Like literally, Josh Too Funny is a viral sensation. So you are a walking piece of whatever I just said right now. So thank you so much for that, Josh. Thanks a lot. So Folasade, over to you. There is something you know how to do with personal brands. Like you are a force in the content creation industry when it comes to digital product sellers, content writers, content marketers, and you know and understand how to like create relatable content, and you built a personal brand around that. What do you think, like creators like myself and like the over 20,000 creators that signed up for like this summit, what are those key elements do you think we could add to our personal brands to like so that we can appeal to the global audience?
Yeah, thank you, Milton, for having me. Hi, Josh. Hi, Elozonam. Excited to be here with you guys. Yes, I would say that's the most important thing, right? Especially because a lot of people are trying to build their brands and they're like already established people in the niche. Is to be authentic. You just have to be yourself. You have to be the best version of yourself. And I feel like that's one of the things that really helped me. So I transitioned into tech, started really creating content in 2020 during the COVID-19. And I used to be a veterinary doctor. I went to school, studied veterinary medicine, and was practicing in Lagos, before we came to Canada. And just sharing that story, about my role as a vet doctor, how stressful it was. A lot of Nigerians don't even value their dogs in that sense. So now imagine you being a vet, people are like, oh, you're the doctor of dogs and cats and all of that. So just sharing that story and sharing how I was inspired to leave veterinary medicine, come into content creation and build a niche for myself, basically transitioning into a tech career with no background in that was what like drew people. So I would share like a thread on Twitter and people would be like, oh, I'm a vet student as well, or oh, I studied microbiology and now I'm creating content. So I would say being authentic is really important. Don't pretend to be what you are not. Don't pretend to, be an expert when you are not. I see a lot of people, who probably like were social media managers and now they are the CEO of a company or they are the marketing director, and you literally have just 1 year of experience. You're not doing yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice, by doing that, right? Because you've put yourself in a pedestal above what where you are currently. And then I feel like the most important part of building a good personal brand is doing quality work, because you see, you can say a lot of things online. You can say that you can say that you know how to do 1,000,001 things. You can say you're an expert at SEO. However, if you don't, people will hire you, right? Talking the talk, will get you into the room. But if you don't have the skill set, to actually do the work, if your content is not engaging, if you're creating content online, or maybe you bought followers so that people have like a sense of, they think like you're very good. But by the time people hire you, brands hire you to promote their, work, their products, and you're not doing well. So I would say like doing quality work is like really important to back up whatever claim, that you're making online, so that at the end of the day, because people talk, right? At the end of the day, when asking about Elozonam, they're asking about Folasade, they're asking about Josh, and the brands and the campaigns they've worked on, they can say, oh, this person actually delivered, this person understands their work. And then the final thing will be to genuinely care about the people you work for and the people you, because at the end of the day, personal branding is about leaving impressions in the mind of people. So if you get a client, or if you're working, with people, you want to genuinely care. You want to genuinely care about your audience. I have about 98,000 followers on Instagram. I know that's small compared to Josh and Elozonam, but I really care about my people, right? I genuinely care about them. My girls know that I am passionate about them transitioning into a no-code tech career. They know that I want them to get godly dating right. So genuinely caring about people, doing quality work and being authentic, being your true self. Don't lie, don't form. If you live in wherever you live, don't go to someone else's house to shoot content. There are people at every stage of your journey that can connect with whatever you have at that moment. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So at this point, I'll be taking a step back and allow my co-host Ebere Lisa to continue from here. Thank you so much, guys. Good to see you, Josh. Good to see you, Elozonam. I'm a big fan of your work. Bye.
Hello, everyone. I do apologize for the interruption and the issues with the internet, but it's all fixed now, and I have been listening in the background. Great conversations so far. And next question will definitely be for Elozonam. And while drafting this question, the thoughts in mind was, there's this almost like a praise and shame relationship that community members or fans have with creators. For example, in your case, just a week after winning the African Magic Awards, then almost the next week, you made a comment about your personal interests, your personal decisions when it comes to relationships, and everybody took it on Twitter and made it a problem. So my question would be, in the course of going global, in the course of being as big as you are, obviously you've encountered some of this controversy, some of these issues. How do you handle them? How do you stay focused and keep creating your authentic content and just being you and managing the controversies that come with that?
I ignore them.
Okay.
That's simple. Like, I ignore them. I see everything. I mean, I see most of it. I ignore. Like, for instance, that comment that I made was taken heavily out of context. Like, if people watched the video, they'd know exactly what I was talking about, and with proper context. It was taken out of context. Blogs carried it left, right, and center. The next thing, people were discussing it on radio, taken out of context. So a lot of these things you ignore. Every once in a while, you have to let off steam, so you pick one scapegoat and address them. But like, generally, I just ignore people because they are usually misinformed and making comments without actual proper context. And it's a reflection of who they are. It has more to do about who they are than me. So why would I give energy to their life to that? I keep it pushing, except of course, it's slander, something that might affect my image on the long run or short run, or affect a bag or something. Then I feel the need to address, because there's some very sensitive issues that you can't just ignore. But I'm not that kind of person. I've never had that kind of drama, and I don't intend to. So I just ignore. Period.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Now, because you have partnerships and collaborations with other brands, does this controversy in some cases affect your relationship with them or how they trust you to represent them?
So the good thing is, Folasade made a very, 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 very important statement here. You have to care about the brands that you work for, right? Because they would know. So the brands that I work for, especially the long-term ones, I have a good personal relationship with a lot of them. So they trust me to an extent. So when these things happen, yeah, if they like, okay, so for instance, like a couple years ago, something happened on Twitter. Somebody came out to accuse me of something, and it trended. Like it trended so hard that they still make reference to it till date. And because of that, I had to reach out to my brands, my the brands that I was working for then, to let them know of the situation before they even get wind of it. And that was, so I was preempting the entire thing. So that was another thing, because I had to reach out to them. That's to show them that I actually care. And they said, okay, cool, handle it. Get a lawyer, do handle it. But my bag was like, my relationship with them was very secure. So when you care about them, it shows. They're not quick to cast you away. They're not. You just have to take steps in order to like protect yourself and them as well. But then again, the number one thing that you have to do, especially when you have partnerships with very big brands, is to keep yourself out of trouble. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that context. Now, Josh, still on the matter of creating content and taking it global. I remember back in the 2020 COVID era where everybody was at home, and then Don't Leave Me started trending. And for some people on the international, you were not the face of it. And I follow your brand actively, so I know when you consciously said making it known that you are the creator of this trend. So I'd like to ask, being on the international scene, are there moments or times when you've had intellectual property issues, times when someone took your concept, and what you had to do to reclaim that?
Yeah, okay. For the things that we do, content creating, and for somebody that likes to be viral, or someone that has the desire to go viral, you should prepare your mind already that sometimes you won't get hold of all the credits you deserve when your works go viral. Sometimes they just blow and leave you behind. You go to where even you cannot reach. Some of these things. There's so many things that are trending these days that people don't even know I started. In fact, started way too much viral stuff that people are really giving me credits for. This goes, people say it was from my video, it started trending. There's this other video that I tried as much as possible to get my hands on and collect money from it, but that one, it's a lot. There's this one, this ping, 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 ping. People still use it now. I created that video, that audio in 2016, and it went viral. Some guy from Ghana created this animation with the sound, and it started trending. It went out. Some people even know it's from Nigeria. So sometimes you just need to just agree with yourself that some of these things that you do, they just leave you. So sometimes all you can just do is just keep saying it, keep letting people know that, hey, this is my thing, because if it's your thing, it's your thing. You need to protect it by all means. You might not get the money, but try and get your credit, try and get your accolades because you deserve it. So what I was always doing was I was always posting it. I'm like, hey, this is me. This is my voice. Back. I was able to call attention back to myself. The same thing happened with Don't Leave Me. A lot of people tried to claim it, and you have to fight for it because it's your hustle. It's my hustle. I had to do what I have to do. I had to do. I made a lot of videos. I made a song out of it. I wasn't going to make a song out of it. People didn't claim it. I was just, okay, yeah, let's go with the flow. But then people were trying to hijack it. I had to enter studio fast, do a song. I was even willing to. I was even trying to do a movie. I released merch to claim it back. You cannot go and rip bread, So I got hurt on it. So yeah, that's it. But you need to prepare your mind that you can't get everything back. Some of them you will still have to fulfill and let people enjoy it. That's why it is virality. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Folasade, I'd like to ask you this question because I know that you clearly share a platform that you work 9 to 5. So, what strategies or what systems are you put in place to allow you to function as a 9 to 5er and then still create content and not burn out?
Okay. So funny how I was on an IG live yesterday or 2 days ago, and someone asked that question, right? And my first response was, "It's my husband." Right? I know it's cliche, but it's the truth. Having a supportive partner, and I say it all the time, it's like one of the core reasons why I am even in content creation today, and I have like a tech career because of this man. He's like super supportive. If I have, like, for example, now, like, I was to join this this session, and it was one that helped me. I'm using his laptop because mine wasn't working well. So the first thing would be to say, like, I have a very supportive partner. He helps out with our daughter, is very hands-on with her, and that gives me a lot of flexibility to take on jobs. But apart from that, I will also say not taking more than I can take on at a time. So currently I consult for like different startups, and sometimes I get like different people, different brands reach out to say, "Oh, we want to work with you." But I also know that because it's a service-based business, right, I can only do as much. So I have like a limit. Like last quarter now, I took about just 3, tech startups to do their content strategy for them. So I would say that knowing what your limits is and not stretching yourself out. Yes, there is a part of being productive, but there is also understanding that if you want to consistently deliver quality work, you cannot take on more than this number of clients at the same time. And then the third thing would be to outsource and train. So I have a number of freelancers that work with me, that, okay, so when they come on board, I train them, and then I know what I would outsource to them. I know the task, that I would delegate to them that makes my work easier. I do the strategy, they do part of the execution, that just helps, the productivity to be better. And then the final one will be time management. I know that a lot of people say this, and it's something I'm still struggling with, myself. But one thing I've tried to do is to make sure like I'm working, at optimal time. I know like the times when I'm most productive. I know those times, and that's like late in the night when my daughter has gone to bed, or very early in the morning when she has not woken up yet. So I try as much as possible to do most of my work. If I'm batch shooting, for example, I would have written like my script out, I would have set everything up maybe a night before, so that the next morning it's way easier. And another thing that I would say like is really important, and I feel like it's a hack for consistency and for being productive, is batch creating content. There are times when I'm like super excited, I'm in the mood, to create content, because I have like an Instagram page, I have a YouTube channel, and then I still have my 9 to 5, right? So it can be very tricky trying to manage all of that. But there are days like I just set it down and say, I'm creating content for Instagram today, and I shoot about 6 videos. Or I say I'm creating content for YouTube, and I shoot like 4 videos. So I can now start sharing. So I feel like batch creating is a very like important hack for anyone who is struggling, who has a 9 to 5, you have a job, and content creation is not paying you so much yet for you to leave your 9 to 5. So doing that, getting a supportive partner. If you're a lady and you're listening to me, you know that I say this all the time. If you are very ambitious, you have goals in your career, don't marry someone that will clip your wings. Don't date someone that will say you're doing too much. It's like super, super important. Yeah. So that would be it from me.
Yeah. Shout out to your amazing husbands and partners. You have this series with your neighbor, which I find very interesting. And I'd like to ask, how do you approach collaboration with other creators and brands such that it allows you both have mutually beneficial partnerships?
Okay, so I might be the not so right person to ask that question, because I just really started collaborating. Off and on, like I'd invite people to come and do my thing, but most of the time I create my content by myself. But like I had to be intentional about Hello Neighbor, right? So in my mind, I'm like, I wanted to create a series, and I wanted to, like Folasade said again, batch create. So I and that's something I typically don't do. So I had to do this. I had to try this time for consistency's sake, and I was trying to tell a story, and it's also very cost effective as well. So I had to invite people. The entire point was to have like in each episode you'd see like a face that like a cameo, and you'd be like, oh my god, this person is here. So I think what has worked for me is the fact that I've put in a lot of work when it comes to the quality of my content, right? And when I say quality, how it looks, how it feels, how it sounds, and the actual content of it all. So if I reach out to somebody and say, hey, what's up? I want you to be on this thing, I have a higher chance of getting a yes than a no or like a scene, you know? So my personal thing is always to get so good that you hardly get a no. So if I reach out to you and I want you to be on my content, just best believe that, you know, if you put it on your page, it looks great. Like, you know, so you're getting something out of it as well, right? Yeah, and I always try to make sure that everybody who's on my content, you know, gets something out of it at the very least. Do you get? So I last year I did my Back from the Future with Macaroni was on it, Kiki was on it, and the one with Kiki won an AMVCA. So I mean, that's something like that, you know. So I'm like, I was really happy that I won and she won as well. You know, I was really, really elated that she won as well. So I feel like personally, the thing I do is just to make sure my work is so pristine that if I call you, you know that just by being in it, you get something out of it. Yeah, that's it for me.
So if the work is excellent, people won't even have to ask why they need to be there because they know it's
Exactly.
valuable.
Yeah, because I want people to say that, oh, I want to be in this. Because I've had that in my comment section as well. You know, like people say, I want to be in this. I want to be in your stuff. I want to feature in your stuff. That's the point I've been trying to get to, and I feel like I have achieved. You know.
I will agree. Yeah, your content is
I can
indeed
attest to that as well.
Yes, it's
very quality content.
Thank you.
So Josh, I'd like to ask, when it comes to monetizing your content on an international scale, are there strategies, platforms, partnerships you found instrumental for generating revenue from a global audience?
Yeah, there are so many platforms like that, and I mean that we know. Yeah, YouTube. You know, I heard some people make money with TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and so many other. You know, and some people actually sell their content. Like there are people that buy this content, and okay, for me, my content is being interpreted in more than 5 languages. So we have partners that interpret into Russian language. We have done Arabic, German, and a whole lot. So what we do with this, we sell them. So if you have gotten to that place where other people, other parts of the world, people from there are asking for your content, then I think it's time to now sell them aside making money from streaming platforms. Yeah, so I mean, if you're doing content, if you're selling content, you have your mind, you open up your mind because there's a whole lot of businesses that can come out of it. You keep your ears down for platforms because platforms come out every day. There are so many platforms that we don't even know here in Nigeria, but they actually stream and pay people for their content. Yeah.
That's the part about translating your content in other languages. I find that quite interesting. I didn't even know that was possible for content creators. I know for movies and other big form content. Thank you so much for that, and I'm sure someone in the audience would add that to their strategy when they go global or as they are going global. Now, Folasade, I'd like to ask you, being that you're a Christian and you talk about your faith, your beliefs, and your content comes on media, I like to think that not just a thought, but it's what it is. That anybody who's on social media, you're speaking to people from different cultural perspectives, different cultural backgrounds, different beliefs and thoughts. How are you able to appeal to a wide audience, but still maintain your value, maintain your views, and share your faith without feeling, from your content, it sort of feels like you're certain, you're confident in sharing without feeling like you're excluding a certain people or you're speaking only for a certain sector?
Okay, so thank you for this question. And I would like to say that I always tell like brands when I'm consulting, and it applies to personal, like individuals as well, is to know your why. Like, why did you start creating content in the first place? Why did you start sharing? I would talk about that later, but I just wanted to start like with that why, with that core reason. It's a brand value for me, right? Folasade Daini is a brand, and there are core brand values that I'm not going to compromise regardless of whatever audience, do you understand, that I want to reach. Do you understand? Because there is a why, there is a reason why I started creating content. There is a purpose to it. I'm not just creating content because I want to make money. Yes, I want to make money, and I'm always talking about monetization, but I'm saying that the main reason is to help people live better, to help people date better, to help people, okay. And then let me move to the second point I wanted to say. So initially, when I started creating content, it was literally to scream at the top of my voice to tell girls to open their eye when they're dating. That was why I started. But then that was also like the beginning of my content strategy career, like my tech career, my no-code tech career. And then over time, I noticed that, being able to work in tech gave me like a lot of leverage. Even here in Canada, I got a job here before we moved, right? Like months before we moved. And I noticed like that leverage it gave me. And I just really wanted to share that. So now I started by sharing dating intelligently tips. Then I sort of now moved into the no-code tech area. Whether you're a Muslim or you're a Christian or you don't believe in God, do you understand? There are people who are interested in getting into tech, in working. There are content creators who want to learn, tech skills. They want to see how they can bring their skills, their content creation skills into the tech industry. So there was also that part. And now, we just moved to Canada. My family and I moved in December. There is that part of moving, being an immigrant, right, in a new land. So those are three niches that even if you can't relate on the dating intelligently and choosing God when you're choosing a partner, you will be able to relate on bringing your content creation skills into the tech industry. And if you can't relate on that, you'll be able to relate on, being an immigrant, making wise financial choices, not overspending on or your credit limits, establishing yourself, in a new land. So I feel like being able to branch out, because my faith is not all that there is to me. There are like different things that I do. Just touching on each part of that, appeals to different audiences. So if you're not on my page for dating, tips, you're there to learn how to move into a no-code, tech career, which I have a free course for, people who want to move into that. If you're not there, then you're there for the immigrant tips, life in Canada, as a Black person. Yeah, so I feel like having different niches has appealed to different, category of people. And another thing that I would say that really helps is collaborating with people. So when we initially moved, and I feel like this is something that is really new, because I see a lot of like Nigerians travel out, right? A lot of creators. And maybe when you were in Nigeria, you were doing a lot of pidgin content, you were doing a lot of Yoruba content. But now you're in Canada, you're in the US, you're in the UK, and there are people who you want to appeal to who don't speak that language. So there is that barrier of entering into the collaboration space, the brand collaboration space abroad. And one of the things I did, I would say that really helped, was to book one-on-one sessions with influencers, with brand, people who are here. There was even a time like I had to pay $500 for a one-on-one session, but it was so valuable because then she was able to teach me, this is how we do brand collaborations here. If you want to work with brands in Canada, this is the type of high quality content that you need to create. So I would say that collaborating with people who are already in that niche will also help you like read a wider audience. And someone asked me, how did you get to collaborate with some of the creators, here already, seeing that you're new? And what I told the person was genuinely care. Again, always genuinely care about people. If you're following someone, if you hope to be in their content, engage with their content, support them, buy their courses if they have, buy their books, and who knows, a chance for collaboration might just come up. And with that, you'll be able to tap into their audience and reach a wider range of audience. Yeah.
Awesome. Investing in yourself, I heard that one loud and clear, because a lot of times people prefer to self-learn, which isn't bad, but sometimes the information you need or the next strategy you need is with someone who is way more experienced, and they won't offer it to you for free. And as we wrap up, I'm just going to be asking one question. I think we are almost at the Q&A segment. Elozonam, I would like to ask you, how do you define success in your content creation journey? Social media metrics? I don't think so, but we'd just like to know, are there other metrics, personal goals that you find meaningful that determines what success means for you as a creator?
Okay, so there are different metrics that I use. obviously the one that jumps out at everyone first would be when you put out a piece of content and it does really well. So your comments are high, your reach is high, engagement is high. I mean, your endorphins are high because of, or your serotonin, everything high because of all of that stuff. That's one way. Yeah. Personally, for me, I enjoy the process of creating, right? And it's stressful, especially when you have to deal with a lot of people. But when I'm in post production and I'm editing and everything is coming together, and it comes together, oh God, like the feeling, like when you see, you've envisioned it, you've thought about it, you've planned it, you've seen it in your head, and then you're now seeing it in your screen exactly as you imagined it, and it's exactly how you thought it was going to be, and it feels exactly how you thought it was going to feel. Now that is winning. That is success for me, right? Because there's so many ideas, like this Hello Neighbor that I did. I've had the idea since last year, maybe August, and I only finished it this year, May. There were a lot of hiccups on the way. I had this whole thing. I was talking to my writer back and forth. These are my ideas. I'd sleep on it. I'd wake up with something new to add to it. So it was just building itself up. And then I had so many obstacles. The lead cast, the Lena lady she wasn't my first choice. Something happened with my first choice. And then, so there were so many things that happened. But when everything started coming together, I'm just like, oh, I did it. Like I did it. I did this thing. This is what I did. From concept to finality, I did it. So that's another way that another metric. Another thing is you have these unexpected interactions with people in public. Because if I'm going about my day, I see some people talk and make reference to my maybe back from the future or my neighbor, or you hope that your neighbor is not stressing you today, and you'd see them and you'd be like, this is not the kind, you're not my demographic, you're not my target audience, but you're watching the show, you're keeping up with the show. Like that is another unexpected thing that happens for me, that I know, okay, you know what, this is actually cutting across my different spheres of the demographic, right? Not just my target audience. My target audience was, for Hello Neighbor, was women 18 to 35, women. Do you get? That was my target audience. But I see guys, old people, old women, elderly, young people watching the show, and I'm like, oh, this is really good. Like this is, oh my God! Like they never see my face when they interact with me. I'm walking around like, okay, all right, So it's his own reward, to be honest. So that's those are my metrics, top 3 or 4. Yeah, those are my metrics for success.
Awesome. And one thing I heard that you mentioned, it was actually one sentence or one line, but it stuck out for me, and that is, audience 35. And even though you've crossed that with the content, you're actually specific in the creative process, nailing that, oh, this is the audience I want to reach with this specific content. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just as a final question, for up and coming creators, breaking into the global scene is very, very, very competitive and challenging. Sometimes they require resources and they're trying to focus on now. What strategies or approaches are recommended for creating a unique content, even in your startup phase or up and coming phase, such that it can launch you into being a global creator?
Okay, so quality content, has to do with very good story, very creative story, then production. Make sure you don't joke with production. Okay, so for people like me, we didn't have tools. We started from nothing. Like I was just in my house in Mushin, in my one-room apartment with about nine other guys that work at Ladipo in Mushin, and that was where I started creating content with one small Infinix phone that I had then. And I just knew that this is where I belong. I used to be a stand-up comedian. But back in the day, if you don't know one very big comedian, you won't get on stage. So So I was like, let me just transform these my jokes to short clips, short stories, short films, and just do them as skits. And that was how I started. So for me, it was not really about. I was not key. I was not big on producing something that you would watch and you're like, oh my god, produced Steven Spielberg. I just wanted to put out my ideas. Just wanted to be creative on, and we started doing it, little by little. So it was more about the creativity. People were fascinated by what is this guy doing? What is this? They liked the person, the person in the video. The video was not clear. The video, in fact, sometimes my audios were bad. You understand? So for startups, you can start with anything you have. Don't wait till your picture is like Elozonam's own, because before you will wait, tire.
It
So
was not always that way, Josh.
no, like when Elozonam came out, like when I first saw your productions, I was like, who is this guy? He's not even a comedian. Like, you just want to watch. You just want to watch
Yeah.
it because the picture is inviting, it is captivating.
It's
You want to look
crisp.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very crispy, yes. But for startups, you don't need all that now. Eventually, you're going to get to that stage. Just make do with what you have. If you have an iPhone and you have your talent, you have the gift, you have the passion, do it. Keep doing it, but just know the right time to evolve. Know when it's time to step up, to move to your next level. Because I knew when I was ready to get another phone, I got another Techno phone. And I used that one. I knew, it was time. People are using iPhone now. I bought my iPhone. Then I started stepping up. Then, right now we can now get cameras and call crew. And so, I mean, give room for growth. So, yeah, that's it.
That's so
Give-
insightful.
that's like a closing statement that I think everyone can hold on to if you're just starting out. Give room for growth because you will eventually grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will. Folasade, are there ways that individuals can identify a specific area of interest or niche for their content while still maintaining their authentic online presence? And I'm asking this because sometimes the content that we want to create or share with the world, the message that is interesting, or when you do research, it's not necessarily who you are as a person. So I've seen people who just create content because this is what the market demands and they have certain skills to appeal to that. So are there ways that individuals can still identify specific niches that appeals to them in terms of who they are as a person, their values, but also monetize it or decide to create content but maintain their authentic values and who they are?
Okay, I think the most important thing, and I like when Elozana mentioned that, for him, when he creates content, there is a joy that he gets from the process, right? And again, I always come down to your why, like the purpose, why you creating. Do you just want to make money? If you're just all about the money, then it's fine to do what your heart is not in, like you're just doing it for the money. But if you're going to last in the industry and if you really want to be happy, do you understand? I will always advise that, you should always let purpose fuel your creativity. And the truth is that you would find people, and I want to pick from what Josh said, about starting as you go. When I started shooting, it was a techno phone in the vet hospital where I used to work. I would sit in the car. I didn't even have a tripod, and I would just put my phone, and I would write my script and speak and start doing it. It was later on that I got an iPhone. The same thing that can also apply to finding your niche and finding your audience. It's okay to start with what you think is viral, or to start with an unclear vision in mind and just start creating. As you go, you would realize the ones that your audience relates with the most. And I always say this: listen to your audience, right? You would find the one that your audience relates with the most, and then you can now start making replicas of that. But most importantly, the most important thing to do is to start, have a strong why, have a strong reason. Here in Canada, right, there are a lot of finance personal finance creators, and trust me when I say they make a lot of money from brands here. Brands pay as high as $45,000 for one real video. I am not a finance creator, right? Yes, Elozonam, I'm telling you. And this, like, my friend is an influencer marketing manager, right? And she was like, the first day she wrote a check for 45,000, USD for one video. So it's crazy. You get a lot of money, but I also feel like if you
Go ahead. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was hearing like something else. Yeah. So and another thing, but you see, it's good to make money, and money is good. But I feel strongly that if you stay strong to the things that matter to you, to different, maybe yours is that you like creating content about, you like creating funny content, or you like creating content like, like this guy does, Fisayo, reviewing tech materials. Initially, it might not be huge, but if you stay with it, there are people in that niche who are ready to put money behind it. But stay true to yourself. That's the most important thing. Stay true to yourself. Listen to your audience. By the time you start experimenting with the different ideas that come to mind, you will see that your audience picks the most, right? Listen to your audience and then reiterate on the things that they like and just stick to that. You'll find people. A final example that I want to say is Peace. I don't know if you know Peace. Peace, I've forgotten her surname now, but she works as a growth. She's in the tech space as well. And she used to do this founders interview on YouTube. And when she started, like an average person, if you do YouTube videos and you talk about how I met my husband, right? People will watch if you do like funny videos, but Peace was literally interviewing tech startup founders. And she did that for like 3 years. And it was slow, like the growth was slow. But now, like it's a known brand. Founders want to work with her. If you're in the tech space and Peace has not interviewed you, yes, her name is Peace Itimi. If Peace has not interviewed you, right? You do you understand? Like the people who build tech startups go to her now. But initially when she started, it wasn't a hot content creation niche, but she was passionate about it and she stuck with it. And I know that if you do the same, if you listen to your audience, if you keep iterating, because there's a lot of experimenting that comes with content, but don't say stop because you don't know, you are not a finance creator, or you don't know how you are going to blow. You now not start. Clarity comes on the way, and just go ahead. Yeah.
I think insightful. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think network is down or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, host. Bring
Josh,
back our.
a couple of days ago, I tweeted that I was going to be on the same panel as you, and I was like, "How am I supposed to keep a straight face?" I would just be laughing.
You are doing it.
Like my husband and I are like super fans of Juga. It's just crazy.
And I saw your video this morning, Josh, the Indian guy. Josh, you'll be the end of me, I swear. Because I don't know how you do those things. Because I feel like there's a lot of
straight face. I don't know how he does it.
How do you do with a straight? Because it's a lot of improv. So how do you do with a straight face?
How do you do with a straight
face?
No, Josh, that's actually a serious question. How do you do it with a straight face?
When is the job?
The fact that you don't laugh, like I don't know how you do it.
Not even funny.
Free. No, I'm just like, what the?
Especially that one where he wears white and he says, is it a rade or something? And he has like all those marks. I'm like, what?
No, I'm sorry, but
Oh my god, guys, this has been an amazing conversation. I've just been here jotting things down, learning from you guys. Josh, I'm a big fan. Don't leave me. Literally, don't leave me. Elozonam, like, I love what you do so much. Your content is like out of the moon. Like, bro.
Especially that back to the future.
Yeah. Like I've listened to your album. You have an album, G. Like, you literally.
I have
what?
two.
You have two albums. What the hell was I saying? Josh also has an like Josh, like your music, right? It's so unconventional, but I connect with it. There's this one, bad man looking video. You like whenever I listen to this song, that's all I think about. Like,
have you heard Unavailable? It's version of Unavailable.
Oh my god! So just before you leave us, just give us, like how you do your sound with your music, right? Just give us something. right before you leave us.
That thing always come with my anointing. You know, there is a garment of praise I need to put on. Let me just say, I'm unavailable. Daddy, I'm
unavailable.
I'm sorry. I'm only woman. Daddy, baby. I can't want anymore. Right. All of the woman.
Is anybody knows that side?
He can walk.
Oh my God.
On anymore. He would anymore.
Man, Josh, amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Milton, Chief Marketing Officer at Seller. I've been the one sending you emails and all. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for turning up. And we have like over 20,000 people that signed up for this summit just to listen to you guys speak. So it's huge. So thanks a lot so much, Josh Fufoni, Elozonam, Folasade. So before you guys leave, just give us one word for the audience, then we can wrap up this session. Just one word. Folasade, let's start with you.
Yes, I would say that the most important thing to do is to start. Clarity comes on the way. Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Wanting to start, clarity comes on the way. Elozonam, the king of creativity, over to you.
Hey. Keep an open mind and do not be afraid to be silly.
Awesome. Keep an open mind. Don't be afraid to be silly. Josh Fufoni, king of stand-up comedy and going viral. Over to you.
Anybody want to give up, make give up. You know the step again.
You didn't mean it.
Attempt to give up. See, do it till it kills you. If why you know you love it and it's your passion, do it till you die. You will not die in Jesus' name.
Amen. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have an amazing evening. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
When life gives you lemons, create an online course on how to make lemonade and sell it on Seller. This lemonade name was sweet self.
This is Uzoma. He's a course creator. He sells ebooks and makes roughly $2,000 monthly from his course sales. Do you know where he hosts his courses, ebooks, and digital products? Seller. He even builds sales pages with Seller Page Builder. Now this is Aluna. She's a freelance corporate and she has customers in the UK and USA. She even gets paid at least $1,000 for her services and gets the platform she processes her payment with. Seller. Now this is Kwame. He is an affiliate marketer and actively promotes Aluna's course using the swift and easy to use affiliate marketing feature on Seller. In fact, he just joined the affiliate network where he has access to thousands of courses he can promote. Why aren't you selling on Seller? Everyone is selling on Seller, but you. Sign up on Seller today.
Yeah, hello guys. Sorry, I was muted. How are we doing? How was the session? I particularly enjoyed this session. This was this session is like the highlight of the whole summit for me. Josh Tufoni made the whole thing fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. If you did, please indicate in the comment section that you did enjoy this session. Just say I did in the comment section, right? So yeah, we've come to the end of the afternoon session for today. But guys, we still have one more session to go this night by 7 p.m. And I wouldn't want you to miss this session for anything because we have a lot in store for you in this session, right? So to ensure that you don't miss out on this session, right, I will drop the link to this session in the comment box, right? Copy the link and then click on it and go to the YouTube page and turn on the notification for this session so that when we go live, you would be notified. And then I would also need you guys to share this link with as many people as possible. Share it with your friends, share it with your neighbors, family, everybody, because this is the last session of the summit, right? And I promise you, we saved the best for the last. So guys, I'm dropping the link in the comment now. The link in the comment section. Copy the link, turn on notification, and we go by 7. My name is Emmanuel. I'm the pro marketing lead at Seller, and I guess I'll see you guys by 7 p.m. Yeah, bye.